everybody! Welcome back! Did you miss us? Because we missed you terribly. It's so nice to see you all again. Welcome, welcome to Tales from Beyond, Crow Lane. My name is Reed or Snail. I'm your humble dungeon master for this here adventure. You can find me on the internet at Snail5e. You can also find me committing atrocities against my close good friends. We're going to do introductions of the rest of the cast, starting with Diana.
You caught me mid-burp. Thank you. Hi, I'm Diana. You can find me most places on the internet at Sapphic Stregonona or just Sapphic Strega, and apparently expelling gas. Better out than in, folks. That's all I got today.
Thank you, Diana. Passing it over to Jess.
Hi, folks. I'm Jess. You can find me pretty much everywhere on the internet at Seriously, and my mantra for today is I am Tenaf. Not Kenaf, Tenaf.
Oh, I love that. We gotta make it a sweatshirt, folks. Next up, Titi.
Hello, everyone. I'm Titi. Pronouns they, any. You can find me all over the place at TT Brett and TT_Brett on Twitter. The bastard still has my username. And I just got back from vacation, which was great. So I'm feeling good.
Thank you, Titi. Bree.
Hey everyone, I'm Bree. You can usually find me like at Aubrey Q and like at random places on Discord and stuff like that. Otherwise, you can probably find me at a Women's World Cup like watch party. Go lesbians.
Yeah! Yeah! Woo! I just got excited. You mentioned my home team. I've got a flag for them and everything. Yeah. Next up, a very special person. The birthday person, Amara.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. My name is Mara, and it's my birthday. And I'm amazing. So, thank you all for the well wishes in the chat and online. You're all very dear to me. You can find me on the internet at College of Lore Dropout or Lore Dropout. And you can also find me writing articles about stuff and things on the internet. And probably at your local library in the graphic novel section. So, alright.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Mara. And last but certainly not least, James.
Hi everybody, I'm James. I use she, they pronouns. I haven't done this in so long. For just a second, I was sitting here going, uh-oh, where can you find me? And I have great news for you. You can find me on TikTok at NiceOneJames and on Twitter, Twitter, Instagram, and Threads at TTRPGay. We'll get back to the hang of it, don't worry. You can also find me staring off into middle distance until I can go LARPing again, because it's taken over my whole brain, and I'm no longer a person.
Thank you. I just remembered that I forgot to ask about announcements before we went live, so I'm gonna raw dog it, and if I'm missing anything, please feel free to let me know at the end. Okay. Hi, everybody. We're here. We're queer, and we're ready to play some Dungeons & Dragons. We will not be playing Dungeons & Dragons a week from today on the 30th, but we will once again be playing Dungeons & Dragons on August 6th. So be sure to join us for the next episode of Crow Lane there, and then I promise, we'll get back to regularly scheduled programming. Summer's just a busy time, y'all. What can I say? We're traveling, we're doing things, we're seeing Taylor Swift, we're LARPing, we have a lot of things going on. So thank you all for bearing with our things as we all have lives, and now we'll get back to the fictional lives that we all wish that we had instead. So many gay weddings, so true. Hey, this isn't the only show we have on our channel right now. No. If you want, you can join us this Wednesday for episode 2 of Tales from the Hearth Divinians. That's another campaign that, oh boy, it's been a while, but oh boy, can I not wait to return to that table. It's going to be fun. If you haven't watched the first episode yet, you can do so on our Twitch channel or over on our YouTube channel. youtube.com/StarlightTalesByT, I believe is the link. Hey, that's not the only show we've got cooking right now. Wild.
No way.
Next week on Wednesday is going to be the premiere of Tales from the Archives Reverie. Why are you looking at me like that, Jess? Am I wrong?
I'd never heard it phrased as next week, and it really kind of gave me a scare, but that's okay. I was like, that's not true.
How long do I have to finish the arc?
No. Sorry, I just had a whole crisis.
I was like, it's next week, right? I'm not wrong.
No, you are correct.
Okay, slay. Next week. on Wednesday, the premiere of Tales from the Archives Reverie. Hey, if you're sitting there going, wow, I just, A, love the Feywild, B, can't wait for this campaign, and C, can't wait to get a sneak peek as to who might be in it and what the characters might look like, I have the place for you. You can go on over to patreon.com/StarlightTales and join at any level, and you can get little sneak peeks of the characters. And it's going to be great, and it's going to be awesome, and the art may or may not have made me cry today, but that's all. I just got really emotional seeing Redacted. I just need everybody to know that. You can buy dice and support us over at dieharddice.com. Use the code Starlight10 at checkout, and 10% of those monies come right back to us, the gay people who live in your computer. You can also buy merch. It's comfy, it's cozy, it's warm, and it's gonna get cold sometime. By God, it better. Am I forgetting anything? Oh, join us on Discord. We have a Discord. We like to hang out there. Follow us on Twitter and TikTok, StarlightTales_. Did I do it?
Yeah.
I think you did it.
Yay. Okay.
Good job.
Thank you all so much. We're going to pass it over to the intro, and we'll be right back. Bye. And we're back. It's been a while, so forgive me if any of the details are missing from this recap. However, last we left our family of crows. They were gathering their resources to leave the planet of Gloomwild in search of Nadette, who had been kidnapped by the slime ball previously referred to as Emil. En route to the planet of Orphea, where Emil was keeping Nadette, Rose had an interesting conversation with Ithios, the crown that currently sits irremovable atop Riva's head, who was trying to strike a bargain with a different matriarch of the Crowcolt family. However, despite long conversations and lots of questions asked and answered, Rose turned the deal down. And Ithios, with biting regret, ended the conversation with a veiled threat, and Rose has not heard from the god since. Slowly but surely, our crows were able to get to the planet of Orphea and sneak to the top of the mountains, where sure enough, Emil was waiting there with Nadette, who was, I think, annoying the shit out of Emil. We can all kind of agree on that front. After a battle that was long and hard and full of lots of near-death moments, the Crowcolt family managed to emerge victorious. And that is where we pick up our story, with a dead body on the ground, with a family of tieflings and an eladrin standing over it, with the looming deadline of 2 more days to get to Mercallo sitting on the cusp of your shoulders, pushing down just a little bit that weight that you've kind of been carrying since the initial deadline was given. Crows, what would you like to do?
I think Ruby, who in the last round of combat had charged out of the woods and was hot girl power walking towards the center of combat, it was super far away, still watched all of this happen, watched Rose go inverted Galadriel, and watched Emil go down. But she has not really slowed her pace at all. And finally gets to the rest of the family and just goes right for Nadette immediately. Pulls her into it's so fucking weird because she's not done this except on Nadette's birthday when it's the thing that Nadette asks for. into this hug, and you can feel that her breathing is just a little bit shaky and holds you for just 3 seconds, almost like she's counting in her head because she is. Pulls back and has her phone out, her holo transmitter out, with Sam's contact information open, and puts it in Nadette's hand, and is like, you gotta call your girlfriend because I gave her a bit of a fright.
What? Okay, yeah, good to see you too. Thanks for saving me. I love you very much. I think technically that was a 2.5 second hug, but I'm gonna let it slide this time. And I'll take the phone.
Very generous of you, thanks.
Yeah, walk away to call my girlfriend.
Yeah, we can follow that. You just can press call. The phone rings half a second before Sam picks up on the other line. Ruby, what's...
No, it's me. I'm good. Everything's fine. I'm not even hurt, a little bit. Everything's good. We absolutely destroyed the guy who kidnapped me. Sorry. There's a train in these woods for some reason, if you can hear that. But, I love you so much. I miss you. I'm okay.
Oh my god. I was so fucking worried.
I didn't hear you over the train in the woods, but I'm okay.
I said I was so fucking worried. You're okay? You promise? You're not just saying that to make me feel better because I'm a million miles away and too fucking far to look at you?
No, I'm listen, if you want, some full body pictures to prove it, so I can send it. Not on Ruby's phone, I'm gonna get my own phone back, but, I promise, I'm good.
Okay.
Okay.
You gotta come home soon.
Oh, so soon, I promise. Look, so soon. We're gonna go to a place. My family all has extra things that I literally have no idea what they got them. So I think they might have robbed a magical vault or something. So probably have to go deal with that. Then we gotta go to a new planet to deal with, Brown. So, but then we're back probably, and everything's gonna be fine. Promise.
Okay.
Promise.
Don't ever do that again.
I will do everything in my power to never get kidnapped by one of Rose's exes ever again.
Okay. How many exes does she have? Do we know?
I didn't even know about this one, so...
Do we have to worry about more of them?
I hope not.
Maybe could you figure that out? I feel like that would really soothe my anxiety if we could figure that out. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you. I love you.
I love you too.
I'm glad you're okay.
I'm glad you're okay. I'm glad I'm okay. And I think I deserve, about 3 dozen of your lemon poppy seed muffins by the time I get back.
Yeah, fine. We can make it happen.
Thank you. I'll bring you some gift from here.
No, you don't need to. Just bring me you in one piece. That is the only gift that I need.
Alright. Alright, I love you very much. I'm gonna go figure out what's happened with my family the past couple hours, but...
Okay, I love you.
I love you.
Bye.
I love you so much.
Thanks.
Going back to Ruby.
As Nadette kind of walks off, Tannen, I think the last we left them was kind of on his hands and knees where he was struck down. So I think he kind of discreetly turns his head and vomits blood, because he surely is below half hit points still. And yeah, I think just kind of tries to quietly gather themselves again without drawing too much attention to him.
Yeah, that was my second stop. Nadette was the first stop.
Ridella's over there.
I made a promise, but yeah. Just immediately down on, takes a knee next to him and is just looking him over, trying to see how bad the damage is that she did specifically.
I think the worst wound, which is kind of now mostly stitched together thanks to the fuck ton of magic Jerome's just pumped into him, is this where this huge sword just went directly through their chest. But you
I didn't
can
do that
see
one.
That most of their shirt has kind of been singed away. in this ball of fire that you kind of threw at him. And yeah, just kind of, I think you know that like tieflings can usually absorb most of the fire that they're hit with, but due to the injuries that Tennant suffered, is kind of struggling to do that. So it's just kind of going through a awful process of like smoldering and then absorbing it and then re-smoldering. It's a little bit like when the embers of a fire keep trying to like breathe to life again, and I think you could tell he's like really struggling, but like trying to play it off like so cool.
Yeah, just kind of gets down. There's like a second level cure wounds in the form of like she has her little fucking Batman utility belt, and has a fuck ton of just like salves made of shit that she found in the woods, and she's like, this one works. I don't know the name of this plant, but it sure as shit works, doesn't it? And just without even saying it, well, she does. I do have to speak to you probably. I've had like a month to think about how fucking upset I am about this, Jess. Just kind of like is one arm trying to like support him as much as she can. Can you stand? You gonna be able to walk back?
Yeah. Nice shot. Like, looks at you with a little bit of a smirk, and just squeezes your arm a little bit.
Yeah, I suppose I deserve that.
Kind of looks up, kind of sees Nadette over on the phone, and kind of, is everyone alright?
Think so. There's only one body, so yeah.
Very on purpose, not looking at the body.
Mm-hmm.
I think Rodella moves over to Tennant and is very like jittery. They spent so much of that fight holding back and now they have nowhere to put the energy that they had. And so I think Rodella kind of steps up behind Tennant and soothes her hands kind of over his arms, and is going to give him the rest of her lay on hands, which is 20.
Thanks.
And then I think she just kind of like, still kind of like shaking and kind of glancing at Ruby over Tennant's shoulder. She just kind of plops her forehead down onto Tennant's shoulder and just lays there for a second and doesn't move, just kind of rubs her hands over his arms.
I think he like stiffens with just like I think more out of alarm that like, are you okay? And then when they realize that you're just kind of having a moment, kind of gingerly like puts a hand on your head.
Should we head back? Is everyone all right? Can everyone walk?
Tennant looks at Rose.
I think, like, since the instant that the Starlight, the crown of stars, kind of fell from Rose's, like, head, I think she, like, you know, reached out and healed Tennant, and since then eyes have just been, like, stuck unmoving on Emil, and has just been staring and, like, not even hearing anything.
I think he kind of gingerly takes a step forward, and you feel like a hand on your shoulder very gently tries to kind of turn you around to face him.
I think you feel like Rose's like muscles in her shoulder go really tense for a second and then just instantly kind of relax, and she like turns their head in your direction, but the eyes stay fixed. Yeah?
Doesn't say anything, actually just kind of steps around to the front of you to block your eyesight and kind of like just has your head against their chest.
Yeah. I think just like almost collapses into you a little bit. And I think where you're like holding her head, you can feel that like the flowers there are colder and a little damp, like maybe ice crystals are forming there. kind of stands there.
I think Riva looks at the group of you, and then she like finishes like wiping and cleaning off her blade, and then she looks over to Rodella and Tennant. She looks over, the group of you, all of you, and then she approaches Emil's body, and I think in a very clinical way, just starts checking for any weapons, any clues, any hints, any information that can be found, and also just closing their eyes.
Yeah. So on Emil's body, he has an amulet of the devout +3, which is a very rare magic item that requires attunement by a cleric or paladin. On it is the symbol. Make a religion check for me, actually. Real quick, just a little one.
A religion check. Oh gosh, the first check in like a month. Luckily, one of the things I did find is my D20. Unfortunately, that was only a 6.
Total?
Total.
Okay, so on it, it's like a copper amulet, and it's got a little vulture on it. You don't really know what that is. But I'm sure you've heard of this. You've dealt with magic items before. That's why I'm not making you roll for any of these. It adds +3 bonus to spell attack rolls and the saving throw DCs, and allows you to use your channel divinity once without expending one of the uses. So that's one thing you find. You find their weapon, which is a blood rose rapier. It is a rare sword. It's a +1 bonus to attack and damage. And it can be transformed into a small metallic rose. You can transform it from a rose to a sword however much you'd like at will. And it can be thrown while it's in rose form to do piercing damage and then magically returned to your hand. He is wearing 3 different magical items. A cloak of displacement, which projects an illusion of you. It makes you harder to hit. So basically, once at the beginning of your turn, this illusion re-ups and people roll with disadvantage until someone hits you, and then the illusion goes away. Glamored studded leather armor, which is rare. It's a +1 bonus to AC, and there is a command word that can cause the armor to look like a normal set of clothing or any type of armor you would like it to look like. And a hat of disguise. Also has just like an extra change of clothes, a crossbow and some crossbow bolts, a couple daggers, a signet ring is on one of their fingers, with a family crest that you don't recognize, but you could probably ask Rose about. And then just adventuring gear in a backpack. That's what they've got on him.
Got it. I think
that was a long list. I'm sorry. It took so long.
Lovely.
He's got a lot of magic shit.
I think Riva, I think in combat had a certain, at least play, I think there's a sense of getting down to business and the comfort of doing something that she's done 1,001 times before, and that is looting a corpse. And she displaces and pulls off all of these items, and she holds the signet ring in her hand. She puts things in little piles and squirrels certain things away, and then she takes the ring and just holds it and waits for Rose.
I'm just standing there with my face in my husband's chest, so if someone needs something, they're probably gonna have to say it. And a little mentee bee as a treat.
I think in this moment, I look at the two of you, and I don't want to interrupt, and I don't want to ruin this like I've ruined so many other things, and I just put the ring into my pocket. And I just wait.
I do need everybody to know, it is really important to me that everybody knows this right now. The doc that James wrote about Emil, is entitled "A Shitty Guy Can Be So Personal," and so when I like want to pull it up, I can't type just a meal in my like Chrome bar. I do have to type "shitty," and then
guy.
it comes up, which is very funny.
As it should
be. Great. Anybody else doing anything? Just a reminder, Ward is there, just kind of like awkwardly lingering, like close enough that like their presence is like made aware of, but like far enough away that she's not like intruding on a family moment, but is just kind of like standing in NPC mode.
I think Ruby's kind of in business mode a little bit as well now that the danger has passed, and so she kind of goes over, sees that Reva's like organized all this shit into piles and kind of just like nods at her mom and is like, yep, and just quietly starts like, you know, picking shit up, because we're not gonna leave this. This is all good shit. We can take this or sell it. So we'll kind of just grab like one of the like just basic packs of adventuring gear or whatever, and go to Ward and be like, you did good.
Thank you. So did you.
Thanks. You good enough to carry? Kind of hold it out towards her.
Yeah, whatever you need.
Right.
We'll like take the armor. Heavy.
Yeah. And Ruby kind of, I'm not Rose. Ruby kind of, there's too many R names.
I'm sorry!
We'll kind of make her, like, you know, excluding Tennant and Rose because they're having a minute over there, turn to the rest of the family and kind of just, like, look at Emil, fucking kick his leg with her tip of her boot a little bit and be like, so, we're bringing this back, yeah?
Back to, like, a house? What?
Now we're gonna launch it on the wall.
Yeah, right under Ward's horns. Yeah.
No, we had a little chat with the Van Rots. Got some cool gear out of it.
Which we will be returning.
Do we have to?
We will be returning.
Fine.
You better, because I didn't get any cool gear. I just got kidnapped, so I don't feel like you get to keep it.
I think
Right.
Rodella reaches out and pulls Nadette into a very tight hug.
Yeah, nice to see that
My mom
captivity
would
hasn't
hug.
dampened your spirit.
Oh no, if anything, he was so easy to annoy. I'm having a better day than when we got started.
You are.
It was easier to push his buttons than yours, Ruby, and that's saying something. Plus,
I have no idea
I
what
knew
you're
my
talking about.
And at the end of the day, I knew my family would come for me and that I'd be fine. So, I didn't have a lot to worry about.
I love the confidence. What are we gonna do with this, though? Like, do we have a...
Rodella steps over and picks up the body.
Easy enough. You can carry that little twink wherever you want to take him.
She doesn't pick him up gracefully. She kind of like lifts him up and then like, you know, his head drops on the floor and she drags him a little bit and then and then goes like, all right, and then picks up the rest of it.
Oh my god.
I think over the side of the scene, Tennant kind of like smooths his hands over Rose's hair and leaves these like wet streaks of blood and kind of like closes their eyes for a minute and just, Rosie, we need to go.
Okay. We'll kind of like pull back a little bit and you can see that like her cheeks are wet with frost and she'll kind of just, I'm fine. We can, are you okay? Do you need anything?
Let's just get back.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think like over your shoulder sees this thing with Emil's body like hitting the ground and just like very quickly looks away. Yeah.
You all can start the trek back to the ship. Doesn't take you very long. I'm assuming a lot of it is in weird, awkward silence. And you make it back to the ship, which is in one piece, with a red tiefling sitting on the deck reading a book.
We look so great.
Just kind of like, holy shit. Notices the dead body. Yay.
Rodella chucks it like you would like a sack of potatoes. Like into like a corner where some ropes are. Just
like
it.
Dog ears the page of the book that she's on and closes it.
Alright, so what are we doing with this thing? What was the deal? Do we have to drop him now, or can we do it?
We need to bring them to the Wretch King. If it's not too much trouble, I would prefer we do it first, because I just don't think I can be on this ship with his body for a prolonged period of time.
Yeah, that's my vote too.
Rodella throws a tarp over the body at that.
So, Gloomwild and then onward, I guess.
Ruby Senior kind of looks at Tennant and just the state of this man's. I know that this is your ship, and the thought of anybody else captaining it is a hard one. But if you need...
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Just doesn't kind of finish the sentence. And we'll start getting ready for takeoff.
I think Tennant sends a little bit of a thought along the thread that connects him to his ship and just says, be nice.
You have a grumpy ship, right?
I do.
You just hear kind of, oh.
Be nice, I'm dying here.
Yeah, well, I'm dying of boredom, so, like, who's really worse off here? Don't bleed all over me again, please. We just cleaned up the blood from last time.
Yeah, I remember.
And everybody can get on the ship. And rest? Question mark?
Yeah. Yes. Yes, and actually.
Everybody can take a long rest as trip from Orphea to Gloomwild, which would normally be a little bit shorter. You can tell that Ruby Senior is taking the long way, doing a couple of loop-de-loops just to make sure that everybody gets a chance. Roundabouts. Not loop-de-loops. You're not literally going upside down. You're going like this way.
Let's go up in space. We can do as many as we want.
Could be neat.
Anyway, taking up a little bit more time so that everybody can get a rest in. A trip that would normally, I think we decided, would be like 6 hours, maybe takes like 7 or 8, just to give everybody a little bit of extra time to like become a human person or a tiefling person again. Great.
I think when they go to rest, because I'm sure everyone has kind of like a corner of the ship that they always go to or whatever, and where Rodella and Riva are normally in the same kind of room, I think Rodella slips into Nadette's room or wherever Nadette's sleeping and just kind of curls up around Nadette.
I think Nadette is probably lightly awake and just kind of like half sleepily kind of like pats your head a little bit and then immediately starts snoring so loud.
I think it's very comforting. Rodella and Riva are very used to Nadette barging into their room and sleeping with them on many occasions, and just used to the outrageous snoring, and have just kind of learned to sleep through it. And so I think Rodella just kind of finds it very very comforting and very soothing to have that back.
I think like Riva, like on her way down to like the storage hole, just like cracks the door, sees the two of you snoozing, and probably cracks a nice little smile, and then just bittersweet closes the door and keeps on going.
I think
And down to her blanket fort downstairs.
Oh no! Not the blanket.
No!
I'm gnashing this long rest button so hard right now.
I need that on like a pillowcase.
Write that down.
Merch. Yeah.
I think in their quarters, Tennant kind of sits at the head of their bed on the edge of the mattress, kind of now kind of mostly clean, running their hands through Rose's hair and just kind of like not saying anything, but leaving space there if she needs to.
I think the more you kind of comb your hands through, the more white you can see kind of creeping in, and the more like frost and snow you can kind of see. And I don't know that Rose honestly speaks much during this. I think like maybe like honestly maybe like 10, 15, 20 minutes in, we'll kind of just like move her head a little bit to look up at you. And just like, and you can see the tears welling there, and it's just like studying your face almost. And then we'll like bring a hand up and just kind of cup your cheek and say, I'm really glad you're okay.
Yeah. Same.
I feel like I should apologize, even though it's not my fault.
Don't do that then.
Then I won't.
It's not your fault.
I know. I didn't even consciously do it, you know. Kill him. I didn't mean to. And it feels stupid to care in a family like this, but I haven't killed anyone since. And yeah.
I think that was the bravest fucking thing I've ever seen.
Thanks. Didn't feel brave.
It never does.
Yeah. Yeah. I just feel like I'm coming apart at the seams a bit. And I don't know how to stitch myself back together. And the harder I try to, the more I come undone. So just I don't know.
Then don't. Just come undone then.
I can't. Yeah. I don't know. I just I guess I just hope that we can go home soon. Maybe I can figure out who I am again. If we are home, so.
I think you can tell that, like, Tennant just really doesn't... Not that he doesn't know what to say, but just, like, in a way that hasn't really been present since the ant farm, has nothing of use to really say. Because this is just impossible.
Yeah.
And is used to that feeling, but you can see the resent in it, that it's there again.
I think kind of seeing that will push up a little bit on the bed and just reach in and just place a very gentle kiss. And just kind of smooth some of your hair back and look at you. We'll be okay.
I know.
Good. You should sleep. We should both try to sleep. I love you.
I love you. And I think we'll just... doesn't really move from their, like, sat position. We'll just continue kind of, like, curling their fingers through your hair until you do fall asleep. And I think once he's kind of sure that you are, like, fully tranced, we'll grab, like, a couple clean sets of clothes and just very gently, like, pad over to the room across the hall and, like, knock on Ruby's door.
Ruby is just sitting, cleaning her weapon, but also so sad because, God, this thing is so beautiful and I have to give it back. But yeah, I think just doesn't even say anything, like, recognizes your knock and is like, he's gonna come in no matter what, so.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Yeah, just kind of, like, tosses the clothes on your bed.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Out of all of us, I feel like I need this the least.
Okay, I'll take it back then. Like,
No.
Grows to grab the cloak.
You already gave it to me, so. There's no backsies.
Alright then.
Not often that I let an arrow loose and I hope that it misses.
It's not often that you miss.
Yeah. I wish I had. Wasn't worth it.
It's not the first time you shot me, Ruby. It won't be the last. Got the scar on my ass to prove it.
That's still to this day. Like, I've made a lot of really impressive shots and, you know, like, insane tricks like hanging upside down out of a tree and, you know, but that's still, I gotta say, that's my favorite.
It's an honor.
Well, I suppose I can't take all the blame. You really gotta work on the explosive mechanism in those things.
Fuck off. It's perfect, actually. It worked exactly how it was meant to. It had the exact circumference.
Yeah, it did, and the way it was meant to work was kind of fucking stupid if you think about it. Like, everyone else in close range just gets hit. Like,
Yeah, that's how big bangs work, Ruby. You can't. They're not specific for, you know.
Right. Skill issue. I get it. Don't worry about it. I won't hold it against you.
Same.
If you just can't localize it, just say it, you know? How is she? What?
Oh. No, that was me starting to say something that wasn't Tennant.
Oh.
She, dark look passes over his face.
Figured. Pretty much the only way that this ended, so.
Best of a bad lot. As far as endings go.
Yeah. We seem to keep finding ourselves in situations where even the best possible outcome is still kind of shit, though.
Crowcolts, innit?
Yeah. Somebody needed to do the fucker in.
Yeah. I wish I'd done it 10 years ago, but yeah. Can I request that Ruby makes a perception or insight check?
Yeah, absolutely. What the fuck is up with that? I'll do perception, because I'm perceptive bitch. Dirty 20?
I think in this kind of like dark, like evening light, you see this like hauntingly familiar like expression on Tennant's face that you've seen, you know, 100 times before in those first few years after the ant farm, when you'd kind of run into each other in the halls late at night. Just the ever-present, unending hallway of like haunting in their eyes. And I think as you look into it and you see kind of like the long hair kind of like hanging in front of their face, the clean jaw, the old pirate clothes that have been on the ship probably for a decade that Tennant's dressed in, it kind of strikes you that your brother really hasn't aged a day in about 10 years. And it's goes against every law of nature that you know, because you know all of them.
We talked about this like 3 months ago and I forgot until now. Oh no. I think that like, you know, her eyes narrow a little bit. She's studying you for a couple of seconds, but this isn't unusual. She does that to everybody. And then like before, she very quickly tries to hide it again, but before she's really able to, her eyes kind of just go wide. And there's this like brief second of like slackjaw horror on her face. As she's examining you, just eyes passing over. She knows like the fucking curve of your face, every little wrinkle, every little thing. And she's like, oh fuck.
Whoa. Kind of like runs their hands through their hair, a bit self-conscious.
Nothing. I don't know if I've been awake for a very long time, and I might be seeing things.
Looks over their shoulder. Ship's not haunted. I hope. Kind of thinks of the body upstairs and goes a little bit shade of paler or grey.
Okay, he didn't die here. We don't have to worry about it. Yeah. Yeah, I guess... No, that still doesn't make sense.
Stop being weird.
I'm not the one being weird. You...
I've done literally nothing.
Yeah. Exactly. That's what... I haven't seen you without that fucking dead thing on your face in a while.
Okay, alright. Yeah, I'm going to bed, actually.
You know, you look...
I look like shit.
Have you
I'm
looked...
aware.
No. Yes, but, like... Have you, like, really looked at yourself lately?
Ruby, fuck off.
I want to know what part of my face makes you think that I'm trying to be a dick right now. I want to know what part of the way I'm saying this makes you think I'm trying to be an asshole.
I don't know, because you genuinely are.
That's really fair, but this time I'm not. You look exactly the same as...
Okay, cool. Thank you, Ruby.
Would you just shut up and kind of just goes and closes the door so you can't leave?
Like, fuck.
Fucking come and pulls out, like, she has a little, tiny little, like, pocket mirror for sending signals. And,
oh my god!
Canon.
Thank you. You know, you're straight out of the mountain and you're trying to signal a helicopter.
Yeah, that was the most Ruby thing I have ever heard in my life. She has
It's not a makeup
for sending signals.
It's for sending signals. And fuck, I'm so sorry. I can't. I'm just.
That has an identical
pass out.
one only for applying lipstick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. She has 3. One for lipstick, one for mascara, one for blush. Never.
And kind of, like, just pops it out and, like, holds it up. It's like, you... Crowcolts age well. We don't age that well.
What?
Just fucking... Would you fucking look?
Look at what, Ruby? It's my fucking face.
Yeah, it's a face... It's a face that hasn't gained a single line or wrinkle.
That's not true, actually. I have gained 3 children and 100 million sleepless nights and a lot more grey hair.
And there's none of it on your face. There should be, but there isn't.
I rolled in that one.
You dumb, you dead bitch.
She's pulling a prank on you. That's the only explanation. It's like not even actually worth it to look in the mirror. I'm just saying.
I think he glances at himself. And Tannen has spent especially the last couple weeks, really avoiding mirrors altogether. And so you see a little bit of like anger flare in their eyes, and they just kind of like bat the mirror away, and it's like, this is just
I'm serious. Look, what are you afraid of seeing?
I'm not doing this right now. Whatever fucking trauma response you're having right now, take it away from
my
me
trauma response. That's
immediately.
fucking rich. Please, come on. I'm asking you. How often do I ask you for things?
What are you asking me for? Tell
I'm
me
asking
exactly
you to
what you'd like
fucking
me to
look.
do, and I'll fucking give it to you. But right now, you're asking me to look in a mirror. And
Yeah.
what exactly? Tell you all the things I fucking hate about myself? Do you want to do a little therapy session right now, Ruby? What the fuck's going on? I need to go to bed. I nearly died today, so I need to go to bed. And please don't follow me. or ask me any fucking weird questions again, and kind of
You
doesn't
came in
wedges
here.
the door open and slams it closed.
I think Ruby just sits there with the mirror for a second, holds it up a little bit, and for the first time in a very long time looks at herself. Not because she's ever... That's a lie. I was gonna say not because she doesn't want to, but no. And just kind of looks and sees all of, like, she can't help but see all of the tiny ways that she's changed in that time. You know, she has some wrinkles in between her eyebrows from, you know, furrowing them together. Pretty much permanent frown lines that she's had since she was in her 20s. I think she's in her 30s. She found her first gray hair like a while ago. And there are just like 2 or 3 more that are like just at her temple that she usually kind of keeps covered up by her little like curtain bangs, but she kind of pulls her hair to the side a little bit and checks, and they're still there. And then just looks into her eyes and into the eyes that she shares with her siblings. And those haven't changed. But everything else is starting to. And then she very quickly snaps it shut, puts it back in her pocket. And I think just throws herself on the bed and stares at the ceiling and does as best she can to rest.
Yeah.
Because, God, I want that long rest. But it is not a particularly emotionally restful time.
Tenant, as you were walking back to your room, go ahead and just make me a perception check.
Can't be worse than my last one. Oh God, man, it's been a minute. 23.
23. You're kind of walking down the hallway toward like the other end where your room is, and something, I don't know, maybe you're exhausted, maybe it's the fact that you almost died multiple times today, but you feel almost as if somebody picked up the hallway and like scooched it an inch to the right. Like things are just a little bit off center, and you can't figure out what or why. And then you go to like grab the handle of your door where Rose is sleeping, and still kind of distracted by the hallway, you go to where you're sure the doorknob is, but it's like a little bit actually higher than you remember. And you have to readjust your hand to open the door. And it's just kind of this just like unsettling feeling of just like small little changes.
Can I do a funky little tenant check on my ship?
Sure.
It's my ship. 22?
Sure.
23.
Hey, boss, why the fuck are you waking me up at this time of day? Oh my gosh, what do you want?
What do you mean wake you up? You're perpetually awake. You're a fucking shit.
I was in the middle of taking like a really, really good pretend nap.
Okay. Is anyone tampered with anything on the ship.
What do you mean?
I don't know what I fucking mean. Just answer the question.
No. I'm just here. I don't feel different.
Okay.
Did you break something?
I didn't fucking break something. I'll break you in a minute.
Yeah, okay, good luck with that.
I think, like, with their hands still on this doorknob, just wanting nothing more than to fucking sleep, cannot shake this crawling sensation, and as captain of this fucking ship, does a round and walks the fucking every hallway and square inch of deck on the ship, seeing what else is amiss.
You exit the hallway to get back to the deck, and you, like, the very tip of your horn bumps against the ceiling.
Mm-mm.
Never done that before. There's a floorboard that you know is the creaky floorboard that suddenly doesn't make any sound. It's just like these small changes that if it was only one, you'd be like, whatever. But it's the all of them that is sitting in the back of your brain.
Does it still feel like my ship, though, or does it feel like... do I see Ruby on the deck?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's standing at the helm.
Can I try and, like, stealth as I kind of walk onto the deck? I want to observe her.
Sure. Yeah, go ahead and make a stealth check.
28.
33. Ruby, without turning around, just kind of goes, "You should be sleeping."
Just checking. Steps out of the shadows.
All's fine.
Yeah. Can I insight check, Ruby?
Mm-hmm. What are you trying to figure out?
She look shifty. She's been rebuilding my ship plank by plank.
Can you, instead of making an insight check, make me a perception check?
Sure, I'm much better at that.
Ruby just did some maintenance, guys. She fixed the squeaky floorboard, you know.
Lowered the ceiling, moved the hallway an inch to the right.
You know, normal maintenance. It's cool.
31.
She kind of looks back at you. First, like, does that thing where, like she's double checking that nobody is crossing the road. It's the empty void of space. There's nobody there. But, like, doesn't want to take her eyes off of the front of the ship without first checking. Turns back to look at you and just kind of give you just, like, a little smile. And you're looking at her, and at this point you really can't fucking tell if it's the fact that you are sleep deprived or what's going on. But it's like the orange of her eyes are a little bit more yellow than they used to be. And maybe they don't burn quite as bright. And you kind of are looking at her and you like blink and it's back to what you know it to be.
Ruby had yellow eyes.
Scratch that, flip it, reverse it.
They're a bit more orange.
Yes.
Than yellow. Hate that!
Do you know it's really hard to tell the difference between orange and yellow in a pit crew?
Okay. Okay. I think Tennant doesn't say anything. And kind of gives a nod. Good night then.
Good night. I promise I'll take care of her. And kind of just gives the ship a little pat.
Narrows his eyes just a little, just a touch. And I'm gonna walk back down, kind of towards where Tennant's room is, and then divert my course. And I'm trying to find my mom. Where's Reva?
Reva, have you fallen asleep yet?
I think Reva is like pondering the signet ring in her hand and her wedding ring and all of the jewelry that she's surrounded with and none of the family. And I think that is how she falls asleep.
So before you find your mom, we're going to do just like a quick check-in with Reva, who is dreaming. You are standing outside of this big, gloomy estate. It's overcast. It's dark. And you can see you're kind of on like the side of this building. And to your immediate right is a window with just a little bit of light streaming through it.
I think I tentatively approach the window. I think there's like hesitation in Reva's steps.
Go ahead and make me a perception check. A dreamception check. Ho, ho, ho.
Dreamception. It's a 29.
29. You look in, and inside you can see, sitting under a desk, cowering in fear, a small gray tiefling, a male with bright glowing orange eyes, like sitting under this desk, eyes frantically darting about, eventually landing on yours, and just like shaking his head profusely at you, as if to say like, please don't come in. Please don't come in. For the love of God, please do not come in.
I think seeing this reaction, I think Reva steels herself. And I think she reaches for a familiar spot, like on her hip, to find like a dagger. She reaches for like the pommel, draws it, and with the pommel strikes the window to shatter it.
The little boy kind of like winces back. And as you've shattered the window, now you can hear the muffled sounds of heavy footsteps, of dishes breaking, of a house being ransacked, bodies being picked up and thumped back to the ground as somebody's frantically looking for something just through the like closed door of this room where this child is sitting cowering in fear. And without the fog of the window and in the light streaming under the door, it looks just like Tennant.
I think there's a hitch in Reva's throat, but she walks through the window, through the broken glass, and brushes against like the edge of like the jagged edges, just clears them with her arm. And then she crouches down and looks at the boy.
Please don't hurt me.
Sweetie, I'm not here to hurt you. Who wants to hurt you here?
I don't know. I was just told that we were all coming here and that there were some bad people who lived in this house, and I was to hide so that they couldn't find me. And I thought maybe you were one of the bad people who belonged to the house who came to find me.
I don't belong to this house. But I can help you.
How?
Would you like to leave? Or would you like to learn how to fight?
I can't leave. My grandfather will catch me and I'll get in so much trouble.
Your grandfather will catch you and he'll get you into trouble?
Yeah.
Who is your grandfather?
His name is Wayland.
I think Reva's face blanches, I think is the term. And she does her best to, like, hide it from this young boy.
You've heard of him, haven't you? Everybody's heard of him. He's awful.
Yes.
And now you want to kill me because I'm related to him. Please, please, we've got lots of money, and I'm sure that whatever you're looking for, we can...
Sweetie. Do you want to come with me? Come outside. And if you want, you'll never have to see your grandfather again.
The kind of clanging and disaster coming in through the door slowly begins to, like, dampen out. And this little kid is looking at you with fear and confusion and some sort of look that's like, I don't know you, but for some reason I trust you. And for a moment you think that he's going to move, but he's, like, physically frozen in this spot, cowering under this desk. And he just shakes his head at you. He'll find us and he'll kill you, and I don't want that for you. You should go before he finds you. He'll be mad.
Sweetie, let me help you outside first. And then I can have a conversation with your grandfather. And make sure he can never hurt you, okay? I promise. And I think Riva extends a pinky finger.
What is that?
It's a way we show promises.
Like a contract?
Just like a little contract between you and me. My sister told me a long time ago that each one of us has a little string that connects us from our hearts to our pinkies. And when we tie our pinkies together, it's a promise from one person to another.
Kind of looks down at his chest, and with his hand kind of, like, puts his hand over his heart and, like, pulls, like, does a pulling motion, and then very shakily brings his pinky to yours.
And I think I crouch down and I lock my pinky with his. Here, let me come pick you up. And I think Riva gently picks up this young tiefling. Goes, shh, it's gonna be okay. Let me take you outside. And then before you know it, you'll be safe, okay?
He nods, looking up at you like you are the moon. And there is a banging on the door.
I think, usher this young child, out the window, and I say, shh, be quiet, be good. I'll follow in just a moment, okay?
Okay. Scammers out the window. You can hear a little wince of pain as he scrapes his knee, but he keeps going. Boy! Knocking on the door.
I think Riva stands up, takes a deep breath. I take a deep breath. And I brush the glass off of my coat. I pop up my collar and brush some of the hair out of my face. And I walk along the hardwood floors of this space, and you hear these clicks, clicks, clicks. And I approach the door. And then she opens it.
Who the fuck are you? What'd you do with my boy?
What do I see when I open the door?
You see Wayland Crowcolt. Scarred, bruised, bloodied, from a battle hard fought and well deserved to be won. You have 3 seconds to answer me. 1.
You look like shit.
2. Reaches into his pocket. Pulls out a blaster, holds it to your chest. 3.
What do you want to know?
Where's the boy?
Why does it matter to you?
I'm the one with the gun to your chest. Where the fuck is the boy?
And I'm the one who knows where the boy is.
Starts to push past you and walk into the room. Starts lifting sheets and going through drawers and clearly he just has no idea where a little kid would hide, right? Because when all the little kids in his life have hidden, they've hidden from him, and so they've gotten used to hiding in places that he wouldn't look, and so he starts just rifling through everything.
I think when he's rifling through everything, I think I look at him and I watch him. And in my mind's eye, he's shorter than I remember, he's smaller than I remember. And as he's rifling through, I think I look for a chair in the room. I grab it and I scrape it along the floor and I sit down.
He turns around at the sound and suddenly you're not looking at Wayland. You're looking at your own face. Captain's hat, long black coat, heeled boots. Looking back at you. Where the fuck did you take my son?
You couldn't keep him safe. I think I realized I had to let him go.
I can. I have been. What do you mean?
You're right. You have to let go.
He's just a kid. What do you mean?
He's a fucking Crowcolt. He will survive. Like we all have.
He's my kid.
And her babies grow up. And all we can do is watch them fly. Let them go.
And you watch your own body kind of fall to the floor, beginning to cry. These like heavy sobs, her body shaking.
I think I approach it. I approach my body. And I kneel down. And I hold her. And I think I cry too.
Tell me I didn't fail. Please. I was supposed to be good at this. Tell me I didn't fail.
We did the best we could. We did the best we could.
Just sobs into your chest until the sobs turn into footsteps. And you can kind of feel yourself coming back to consciousness as Tennant walks into the engine room where your little blanket fort is. And Jess, you find your mom.
Feeling really normal about finding my mom under a table after the dream that they just had. I think, yeah, Tennant kind of walks into the engine room, can see the silhouette, and kind of like gently closes the door behind him. Did you drop something?
Tennant?
Yeah.
Sorry.
I think walks over to the kind of fort, and you can only kind of like see them from like the knees up, and they kind of like pause, and it's just like a heavy grunt as they kind of like struggle to take a knee, and they're like, "What? Ow! What are you doing?" Are there tears on your face?
Just a dream. Just a dream. Give me a moment. Mm-hmm. And I think I reach out, and I think you would notice that your mom's hand is quivering. And she like settles it on your lap and just like pats your leg.
Hasn't like moved to touch you, or the hand in the lap is just kind of like doesn't know what to do with it. You and Mum have another fight or what?
It's not another fight. It's It's the same old fight. I think a couple seconds pass, and she takes the hand that was resting on you, and she brings it back to herself. And you see her, like, bring her hands. And I think things you would notice are sort of like the veins around her knuckles and the way they like stand out against her skin. How are you?
I've been better.
Me too.
Laugh.
No, just... Oh.
What's going on? Nadette's all right. She's fine.
How are you?
Did you not just ask me that?
But how are you?
Something's going on. Don't call me crazy. Something's going on with the ship, and it's not right. And I've not been able to shake this feeling about Ruby, not our Ruby. Other one.
The mother.
Yeah. I know I haven't slept in like 2 days, and I lost all the blood in my body today, but there's something going on, and I need you to just believe me and maybe help me figure out what it is.
I think Reva opens her eyes and looks directly into yours. Okay, I believe you. Tell me what's been going on.
The ship is just slightly different. Floorboard's wrong place. Ceiling's too low. Doorknobs. And I know it doesn't sound... I know this ship. I practically built it. It wasn't like that when we left. And then Ruby... I don't know.
Show me. Let's walk through.
Okay. While I'm here, can I check my engine?
Yeah, you can go check on your little moss ball. Make a intelligence check with proficiency.
Oh, that's pretty good. Oh my god, math. 17 plus 7.
24? Yeah. Looks pretty healthy.
Looks the same?
Yeah, looks the same.
Does this room look the same?
Yeah, you look around, it looks the same.
Okay, well this room is fine. If I think back, did like my quarters...
You didn't notice. You didn't really look around. You were so engrossed in Rose and making sure they were okay.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not fucking crazy. This room's fine, but outside was not.
Okay, I believe you.
Okay.
Show me.
And kind of opens the door for her. You sure you're right?
I will be. I think, Reba touches the edge of the doorway. I think just subconsciously checking for glass. And then just goes through.
Yeah. You can lead your mom to the exact places where you noticed something was off.
I'm gonna stealth. Can I kind of like, with a bit of a silent look towards
Yeah, both
Reva,
of you
kind of
make stealth
indicate.
checks.
Oh, it's a dirty... I got a 5, but it's a dirty 20.
Great. Reva, stealth check?
This bitch is right beside me.
Do you want me to be stealthy, or I could be very loud?
No. Be stealthy, please.
Okay. That's a 24.
Great. You can walk around?
Yeah, I just kind of show Reva the places I've kind of noticed are not lining up quite right.
And, you know, it's hard for you, Reva, because you don't know the ship as well as Tennant does, right? But it's not that you don't believe him. Sure, these things can absolutely be different. The floorboard is not squeaky. His horns touch the ceiling. You can see these differences, but they're just like not things that you have any recollection of being the way that they were before.
I think in this like furious whisper, he's like, "Look, I'm not fucking grown, all right? I'm tall enough already, and I'm a tall guy, right? I built the ceiling so I could not duck under every doorway, and now look, kind of like this is not fine craftsmanship. I wouldn't do. This is not my work. This is not me."
No, Tennant, you're right, sweetie. I know you wouldn't have made door frames that are way too short for you. This is a little bit odd.
Thank you.
You're not crazy.
Thank you. You're
I like... I just feel a little bit charmed. This is really sweet of you. We very rarely get to spend time like this.
We spent the last 3 days together, actually. I don't know what you're talking about.
You're right. You're right.
Oh yes, family bonding.
I think, like, I'm gonna very seriously inspect the floorboard that's not squeaky.
It's just not
and confirm
squeaky.
It's not squeaky. And then to the door frame that's a little bit too short, I'm confirming this is unusual.
It just barely grazes the tip of Tennant's horns. Just barely.
It's really odd. I think there's this thing inside Reva that's just this is the time where she would probably wake up Rodella or grab Rodella to be like, hey, there's something weird going on, but maybe do you want to look into this tonight, or do you want to tell everybody in the morning?
I don't know. I don't. Okay, don't kill me. I don't trust your mum. And I can't. What's that? I don't trust your mom, and I can't. There's like 2 of you right now.
What are both of your passive perceptions?
My
24.
passive 27.
Great. Almost like the body was trying so hard to be still.
The body
Of Ruby Sr., I realized that there was a dead body on the ship, and that was probably not the right way to start that sentence because there's a dead body on the ship.
Mm-hmm.
Almost like the person was trying to stay still. There's like a twitch in Ruby Sr.'s shoulder, ever so little, as she goes to move the wheel in another roundabout loop-de-loop.
We see this, or like what?
Yeah, you're like standing in like the hallway in the door frame from the deck to the hallway.
Okay.
You can see out of the corner of your eye, there's like a shoulder twitch of Ruby Sr. at this conversation that you guys are having. Almost like maybe she rolled a 34 on her perception check. And trying to cover it up, she goes to spin the wheel of the ship.
I have an entirely telepathic conversation with my mother, and I just like give her a series of intense looks and raised eyebrows, like.
In response, there's a series of intensive sort of like, are you kidding me? Like, okay, eyebrows. Like, how do you communicate via eyebrow that fine, I'll spend the rest of the night with my mother, you go to bed?
Make an insight check, Tenant.
Can I have advantage with my mom?
Yeah, fine.
A rich tradition of expressive eyebrows. I love this.
The Crowcolts and their brows.
This is not very good.
What is it?
14?
Yeah, I mean, she basically, she goes, and like sighs and like points down the hallway, basically telling you, go, I'll take care of it. That's what you kind of get.
I think like kind of like hesitates and kind of like throws another glance in Ruby's direction, and you can tell Reva that he's hesitant to leave you alone, and then kind of like looks back at you and kind of gives you a brief glance up and down and remembers who his mother is and is like, hey. Kind of the whole body just slumps in like this like barely held back relief. I will just shout if you need anything.
I promise. I say an eyebrow.
Kind of look at my mom's eyes, and then I kind of like remember, and I'm like, okay, fuck, fine. Gives you an awkward pat, and is like, ugh. Then like limps down the hallway.
I think I watch Pennant limp all the way down. Take a moment. I look over to, I think, Nadette, like the doors to like Nadette's room, and acknowledge the fact, and then just kind of rub the bridge of my nose, and then make my way towards, I guess, I make my way towards Ruby Senior.
Sure.
The bridge. Is that where the captain's...
Yeah, sure.
Everything. Yeah. Totally watch Star Trek.
As you walk up to her, she says, without looking over at you, still looking out at the void, you know, you never were old enough to not trust me. You never really got there, huh? Everybody tells you, oh, watch out for the teenage years. They'll be awful.
You know, lucky for us, my father taught me not to trust many people at a very young age.
I don't know what I did. I get it. It's a weird situation.
What would you do if you were in my shoes?
I don't know. I didn't really have a good relationship with my mother.
Yeah? What was your mother like?
Pulls up a document.
Sorry.
That's okay. Somebody like do some Jeopardy music or something.
No, you're...
Na, 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 na.
Okay. Not very present.
What a coincidence.
Yeah, at least I knew you for a little bit. Gives you like a what the fuck are our lives kind of chuckle.
I think, I gently pull up a chair. Is there anything you wish you could have said to your mother? Anything you would have wished you had done?
You know, I had a long time to think about it. And I don't think I ever came up with one answer. I guess
Not
just... probably ask her why she left. And why she didn't take me with her.
You know where she went?
Wasn't allowed to.
allowed to.
Yeah. You're not the only one with weird, aggressive pirate father here. We don't have time to unpack that I was born to one and then married one. Please, I don't want to talk about it. Did you ever think about what you'd want to say to me?
All the time. All the time.
And?
Even. Thought about you, and what you'd think. When I took my first ship. When I met Bella. When our kids were born. When Bernadette passed. A lot of it. And you know, for so long I was, I thought about what I would have done if given the chance. And sometimes I really, to be honest, I often find myself wondering if you're really here.
She kind of like moves one arm off of the steering wheel and like pinches you just a little bit on your arm.
I pinch back.
It feels real. Your mother, not a hologram.
Check.
Not 1,000 crows in a trench coat. I know that was big up on the conspiracy theory list.
That sounds way cooler. Can I have that, actually?
Suddenly, she takes off her trench coat. Huh. Anything else you want from that interaction, or are you just gonna sit on the deck?
I think I'm gonna take a moment. How do you find the personality of the ship?
Oh, I can't talk to it. It's like it's a captain thing.
No, okay.
Why? Is it something?
Tennant has told me stories.
Ah.
Speaking of which, have you noticed any differences on the ship lately?
Like what?
Funny, I find myself, whenever boarding a new ship, counting the paces it takes from bow to stern, checking all exits, entrances, finding places to scurry and hide if necessary, smuggle something. Everything that you taught me all those years ago. Finding the squeaky spots so you know when you need to make your entrance known and when you don't.
That was a very nice words you've said, but that wasn't the answer to my question. What do you mean? Are you worried something's changed? I was sat on the ship the whole... Thank you, Frankie. Just really going to town, huh?
Hydrate.
Thirsty.
Take this opportunity to hydrate.
It's the waves crashing.
He's still going.
Waves of space.
An astral sea lion is just splashing.
Still going. Okay. Was that good? Was that good water? Now he's doing a big stretch. Okay. I was sat on the ship the whole time. I think I would have noticed if something or someone came and changed it.
Alright. And I think, if it's alright with you, I think I would like to stay up.
Sure, you can do a short
sitting
rest
alongside. Yeah. Sitting alongside Reba, or not Reba, Ruby Senior for the night.
So go ahead and take a short rest and a level of exhaustion.
Alright.
We are going to take our break. We will be right back, picking up in the morning at Gloomwild. Don't change that Twitch channel. We'll be right back. Bye. Hello, everybody. I hope you had a great break. We're back, and we're going to pick up with the morning, unless anyone else had anything they wanted to do in the evening. Going once, going twice. It's morning time. Everybody can long rest except for Reva. Sorry. And you all can feel that the ship is docked. No longer moving. And Reva, you would know that you guys have docked at Gloomwild.
I think Tennant's not an early riser, but due to the anxiety of the previous night and day, is pretty much up with the dawn and kind of waits for Rose to stir awake.
I'd imagine Rose is also up pretty early, considering this is my second long rest in, 12 hours?
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta conk out a little, over and over.
Good for them.
So I imagine Rose is probably also up pretty early. Rose also, upon waking, I'm sure this is not a surprise, hair is just pure white ringlets that almost seem to be held in place by frost. There are still some spring flowers, but they are mostly encased in ice at the moment. So, and her eyes are a little more blue, and the freckles are pretty faded under it. There's like a nice, like, pink, like, you know when you got in the cold and like your cheeks and your nose get a little pink in your ears. Yeah.
I think Dana's just kind of like holding you to their chest and is kind of willing, like, they're still feeling pretty weak, but willing the last bits of their, like, energy into, like, the heat of their skin, and their palms are really hot, and they're just kind of trying to melt you, but understanding it. That's not really how that works.
No, that's definitely how it works.
Chasing some of that coldness away.
Kind of stretch a little. Hi. Good morning. You sleep okay?
I slept.
That's a win, sometimes.
Yeah.
Feels like we docked.
Yeah. I haven't seen you like this in a long time.
I haven't been like this in a long time. Kind of like pushes some hair out of her face, almost in like just shy of annoyed a little bit, almost like looking at it is annoying. I'm okay. Just a lot.
Brows furrow. Yeah.
And I still love you very much.
I wasn't worried about that, but...
Okay, good. You have a look on your face.
It's just my face.
Just your face, yeah. You ready for this? Whatever the fuck this is.
I don't really give a fuck. Don't want anything to do with it. I'm gonna go check on my mom.
Okay. I'll go find something to do.
Okay.
Are you okay? Like, really?
My hair's always white.
And it suits you. I was getting a bit jealous, you know, I wanted to fit in more. So.
Can I presses a kiss to your temple and like flips out of the bed?
Yeah. I think Rose will kind of like get up, and I imagine is probably, as already the earlier riser between the two, I imagine maybe has been up for a little while and has just been sort of like laying in bed. And I'll just kind of look back and give you a little wink, and then I'll go out on the ship. And I think, and I want it on the record that I was gonna do this before the stuff that just happened. It was in my notes, but I would like to go find Ruby Sr. Just like a meandering pace. I'm not rushing.
Ruby is still at the helm of the ship with Reva sitting in a chair by her side.
I guess we both go then, because I was going to
Sure.
check on my mom.
Yeah.
So the both of you go there.
Can I clock that Reva looks like she hasn't slept?
Chili Reva lets out a big yawn.
Yes.
Shannon looks guilty.
Hi, good morning. You alright, Reva? I mean this in the most flattering way possible, but you look like shit.
Runs in the family sometimes.
What?
We're docked. We're here. Do you want us to check on a cargo?
Oh. I mean, I would assume
Why does he want
hasn't
breakfast?
gone anywhere.
No, it's... I don't know what the plan is now.
Well, I should, maybe I should send a message to someone in the castle. I don't know whether or not they want
Maybe some
us
people.
paraded. Can I actually make a perception check on the docks? Do I see anybody that looks like Royal Castle or Elise? I'm also specifically kind of looking for.
What time of day is it? In the morning? Probably not.
Okay.
I mean, like, I think you can see royal guards. There's kind of always royal guards, but beyond that.
Do they look like? I'm assuming they don't look like King's Guard royal guards, just like the normal.
Just like the normal
blue guard.
Yeah.
Is that what they're called? I don't remember.
Blue guard,
Okay.
yeah.
I could probably send a message. Just I don't know how much they want paraded through the streets necessarily, but
Yeah.
I think that would be great.
great. I'm assuming. Hey, Reed, did we think we got anyone's hollow transmitter number when we were there? Am I using a spell slot? I'm happy to roll a good luck check for it. Okay, that's okay. Yeah, then I will cast Sending to...
What if you just called Asher up?
What would happen if you just called up the Wretch King? Yeah, I'm gonna call Elise. Or Sending Elise.
Sure.
God, okay, I'm gonna say, hi, it's Rose. We're at the docks. It's done. We weren't certain how you wanted him deposited, but we're here. I'll just leave it at that.
You get a response. Wow. And a long pause of like, I think processing.
Sure, it's a lot to get with your morning coffee, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll send someone to pick him up? Okay. Yeah. Someone will be there shortly. Thanks, Rose.
I don't answer because I'd like to keep another third level spell slot. But in my heart, I answer. They'll send somebody shortly, so I guess we can just kind of stay put.
This is Ruby. It's here.
Sure.
I think I'm gonna go sleep, if that's okay.
Right. Yeah.
It's a long night of staring out in the darkness. Thank you, darling, for keeping me company.
Of course.
Okay, wake me up if you need me.
Yeah. I think something flashes across Rose's face that vaguely translates to, I was gonna talk to you, but it's not important, so it's fine. And then I'll kind of just, sleep well.
She clocks that. Rose, will you walk me to my room?
I send the sharpest of looks towards Ruby Senior, and it just completely reflexively, my hand brushes Rose's.
Rose, would you like to really slowly walk with me toward the hallway but not leave the deck? Looks back at Tennant.
Looks at Ruby. Looks at Tennant. Sure? Feel like yeah, that's fine. Kind of squeeze Tennant's hand a little. I'll go walk it with Ruby Sr.
I start communicating via eyebrows to my mother. Is she a crazy person?
She makes a big show at first of like stepping very slowly. And then kind of will walk at a normal pace, and then just once you guys get to the hallway, we'll just like stand in the doorframe.
Gonna kind of like look at her and look back at where I imagine my husband and my mother-in-law are just back and forth with each other. Look back at her. What was that? Did I miss something?
Oh, he doesn't trust me.
Don't take it personally. It's just part of their charm.
I'm trying not to, but thank you.
Any reason? I mean, did something happen? I'm sorry, I'm just nosy.
No, it's okay. I got asked yesterday if the ship had changed. I don't know if that had anything to do with it.
Interesting. Alright, I'll, well, they seem to be handling that over there, I guess. So,
sorry for...
It's really not...
No, I'm sorry for pulling you off. You just looked like you had something to say.
Oh, no, it's not... You resting is more important. I just,
What's going on?
This is gonna sound kind of silly. You're a very... I mean this as a compliment. Dangerous and put together and fearsome, accomplished woman, and I guess I was just, I'm feeling kind of the opposite of all of those things currently, and I guess I was just hoping for a bit of, for lack of a better word, girl boss advice. I don't know. I just kind of feel like I'm coming apart, and you are maybe the steadiest person I've ever met, and I guess I was just gonna ask how you do it, so maybe I can keep it together. It's silly. Sorry, you can go.
No, it's not silly. I will say, the me that you see in front of you is one who has spent the past year of her life processing the decades that were missed. It's a little easier to be steady when you've been so removed for so long.
So I should go on vacation, is what
I mean, I'm always going to recommend that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, I've heard of this really great place called Titty Moon. I don't know if you've ever been.
I have been.
Oh, great. Well, maybe you should plan a return trip. But
yeah, maybe.
In all seriousness, I was talking to my daughter about this last night. We are people who hide things. That's what Crowcolts do. And sometimes the girl boss that you see standing in front of you, who doesn't appear to be bursting at the seams, what you don't see is that those seams have been redone and retied and reknotted 1,000,000 times.
Yeah. I guess maybe you're a bit better at it than I am, and that's okay.
You'll learn. Or
Yeah,
maybe
I
you
feel
won't.
that's true.
And maybe, for once, this family won't let things boil up until they burst.
That feels very likely.
Call me an optimist.
Anything you're letting simmer between friends?
I'm struggling to find my purpose, and I know it sounds cheesy, but I don't know why I'm here, and I feel like a piece of luggage that you are carrying around very kindly. I just, at some point would like to be a person again.
Strangely enough, I know what you mean. Yeah. Well, for what it's worth, I don't see you as a piece of luggage.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You are not one either, but if you were, you'd probably be just the prettiest luggage. It would change colors, and it'd be great.
Mm-hmm.
People would be so jealous of anyone who carted that luggage around.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah. Sorry, you should rest.
Kind of like takes your hand in hers. I don't know if anybody said this to you yet, but I am really sorry for your loss.
Thank you. Thank you.
I know what it means to mourn someone who probably shouldn't deserve being mourned.
Yeah. It's a tricky thing.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's very kind of you to say. And for what it's worth, whenever you figure out what you want your purpose to be, I hope you know you have an ally in achieving it. If there's ever anything I can do.
Thank you.
Yeah. And really nods in Tenet's direction. Don't take it personally.
Kind of like gives him a look and a small shake of the head and a sigh.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to bed.
Yeah, rest well.
Thank you.
We'll be, well, here for a while at least. So.
Yeah, wake me up if you need me. And she walks off. You watch as she stumbles over like a board that's out of place.
Here's the thing. I have a little more context than I did when I started, right? Because she said that Tenet was having trust issues with her. And she said that one of them had said something about the ship being different. Knowing that, and still knowing that, like, long buried feeling of, what if something's wrong here? Can I insight check to see if I think that is something that she has feigned?
Sure.
Cool. First roll today for me. I'm gonna use my Tenet D20. That's pretty good. That is, that's I can't do math. Please hold. A 28.
She looks like she just tripped.
Okay. Then can I kind of step up to where it looks like she tripped and just look? Do I see anything?
Yeah, she kind of whips around. And the both of you can notice that, like, it looks like one board of the floor is just, like, turned, like, 5 degrees. And is now, like, a little bit out of place.
Do the rest of the boards around it
look fine?
Seem... Kind of cock my head at it, look up at her. Huh.
That wasn't... God, I'm getting old. And walks away.
Yeah. I'm gonna just, I think, is it like, just to clarify, when you say turned, do you mean like upwards, like it's lifted? Is it like turned?
Like...
Does it look like the kind of board that is big enough that, like, it could be pried up and something could be stored under it?
Yeah, probably.
Can I try?
Yeah, you can pry it up.
I don't have anything to leverage.
I mean, you can kind of, yeah. There's nothing under there.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just, I guess now holding this board in my hand, kind of turn back to look at where Tenant and Reva are and just like hold the board up until my husband comes to fix it.
This is probably not a new site, given that they built a house together.
Yeah.
I think meanwhile, Tennant has been kind of progressed from eyebrow conversation to normal conversations. Like, okay, what did you talk about?
I tried to get her to tell more about herself, try to figure out if there's anything that smelled fishy.
And?
I don't know yet, Tana. I don't know.
Okay. You think I'm being paranoid?
I think we're all paranoid, and that's what makes us who we are.
That's not an answer.
I'm with you. Something is off. Something is weird. We're not crazy. I trust you.
I'm sorry you had to stay up all night. You should go sleep it off whilst we deal with the thing.
It's fine. I think somebody has to convince your sister to let go of that bow and return everything that we borrowed.
Okay. And by the way, and then cuts off as he sees Rose holding up this board. What the fuck? What are you doing? Hold on. Strides over. Where did that
Hi. Hello. Ruby just tripped on this board that was like sticking up a bit, and so I don't know, I guess I just kind of lifted it further up because I was curious, and there's nothing under it if you were worried, but I am holding the board now, so.
takes the board away from you? It was very clumsy of her. Kind of shoots a glass at her retreating figure and kind of drops the board, kind of like shuffles it back and stamps it like back into place a little bit too hard.
She mentioned something about thinking the ship has changed.
Did she?
Mm-hmm. Someone said something like that to her, and then about 3 seconds later she tripped on this. Anything I should be aware of, perhaps, as someone with a wide array of magical abilities that could, I don't know, be used to detect if something were off?
Tennant, you see, as you've seen this expression, this man 1,000 times in your marriage, remembers that magic exists.
Yeah. Sure.
Just, this ship is weird. It's off. Like, just too many things are at place, and I don't know.
Do you want me to look around? I don't want to go poking and prodding around your ship if I'm not invited, but
The ship that is named after you?
Mm-hmm.
You can poke and prod around any way you like, Rose.
Okay. And maybe I will.
Okay.
And she's going to rest, but it'd just be nice. She's very kind to me just then, and you're kind of doing that thing where you look like you want to light someone on fire with your eyes, and I really...
I'm not doing anything. What? I've been very nice to her. I've not said a word. If she...
Sometimes you don't need to say a word, darling.
Listen, if she's eavesdropping on a private conversation between my mother and I, that's her fucking problem.
Was she?
Yes.
Okay, but how was I supposed to know that?
I don't know. Sorry.
You're prickly this morning. I'll kind of like pat your arm and reach up and press a little kiss to your cheek, and all right, I'll go look around. If Elise comes, which I don't know that they will, but if they do, will you let me know?
Sure. Do you want to be here for that? I can take care of it.
Only if it's her. If it's someone else, I think maybe not. But I'd like to express my condolences, I guess, for what it's worth. That's all.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Seriously though, is your mom okay? Because she looks bad.
She didn't sleep. Isn't going to. But what's
Right.
next?
Okay, I'll look around. I might be able to help with that, but I'm gonna look for any odd floorboards very quickly. Okay. Hang in there. I love you.
I love you.
Don't say it like that. I'll walk away.
Just kind of like turns, like kind of like thunks their head against like the door of like their quarters, and it's like just kind of stays there with their head against the door.
So valid. I'm scoping out the ship.
You just
I'm
look
detect magicking. I'll ritual cast detect magic, and then I'll kind of work my way through the ship.
So after
Look for anything funky.
10 minutes of casting, you start walking around.
I'm also, I want to clarify, looking with my eyes for things that are weird, but detect magic is helpful, but not the only thing I'm doing here.
How well would you say you know this ship?
I mean, I feel like pretty well. I was also just on a baby moon well, I guess that was a year ago. I'm stupid. But fairly well. I think probably not as well as Tennant, but pretty good.
Okay.
They've traveled a lot on the ship. So.
Yeah, things to you, you're not noticing as many, I'll say, as Tennant did. But things seem to you just a little bit different. Again, kind of like...
Uh-huh.
That's crazy, bro.
Is he good?
You got the zoomies?
No, there was a dog who barked at him through the window.
How dare
God
the
forbid.
dog?
Yeah.
How dare he?
We're gonna...
Evil.
It's Frankie's house.
We're gonna go to break just real quick. Not even typical
Yeah,
difficulties. Canine difficulties. We'll be right back. Canine difficulties later. Yeah, so a couple of things here and there. Nothing magical besides the magic items that are on the ship. Like nothing, I would say nothing that you didn't expect, right? This ship inherently gives off magic.
Yeah.
Not magic that you were not expecting.
Sure.
That's what you get.
Okay, can I don't know, this feels like a check that I don't know how good Rose would be at it, but it's where my brain is at. Me, James, the human man. Can I, in the spots where things are off, like specifically if there's any other spots with like floorboards fucked up or like wall panels fucked up, can I try to make some kind of check to see like how the material around has responded, right? Because like if you like take like a floorboard, right, where all the floorboards are slotted together and you like move one, like are there signs of scraping on the side? Does it look a little forced?
There's not, which is strange, right? It looks like pristine everywhere else, but only these like isolated incidents of things that are off.
Okay. Yeah, I'm a little useless here, but that's fine if it's not magic. Is there anything in the like changes here that look like they would make the structure less sound and I should tell someone about it to get it fixed, or are they all just like weird little things?
Just weird little things.
Weird. Okay. Yeah, I don't have even one thing that's useful if it's not magic. So I'm just gonna... Actually, can I... do I want to use a spell slot for that? I don't. Okay. Then yeah, I'll just, I'll go back up to find tenant. However much longer that is later.
Okay.
Are we sticking with...
Yeah. No. Yes, if you would like to report back your findings, you can.
I would love to. Cool. Yeah, I'll
standing against a wall with his face pressed against it, like a guy in detention.
Stop at the end of the hall, cock my head. Have you been like that the whole time?
What?
Hi. It's been like
I was just
20 minutes. Okay.
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah, things are weird. Not magic weird, that I can tell, but, you're not crazy.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I looked for magic, I didn't find any. It doesn't necessarily look like brute force. I don't know that someone on the ship is prying up your floorboards in the dead of night, but, I don't know. It's odd.
Just on a terrible hunch I just had, Reed. Are there any... Is there any paintings hung up on any walls on the ship? Can I look behind them?
Yeah, there are some paintings on your ship.
Can I go look behind them?
Sure. Which one do you want to look behind?
The first one I find.
Great. I'm sure there's one hanging in your captain's quarters.
Yeah.
One that Rose probably painted for you.
Yeah.
You go, you walk up to it. You kind of lift it off the wall. Nothing behind.
Can I, as Tenet kind of lifts the painting off the wall, can I take the painting and look at it and see, does anything in the painting look different? Like, are we dealing with everything on the ship is a little different, or just the structure?
Sure. Go ahead and make a perception check.
Can I argue advantage because I painted it?
Yeah.
Nice, thank you. I'm sorry, you said perception?
Mm-hmm.
That's a slutty 20.
I don't think anything looks different on this painting.
Okay. Can I kind of feel on the... What's that called? The part on the back that you can peel back sometimes, and in murder mysteries there's secrets back there.
Mm-hmm.
Can I just like feel the back part of it?
Yeah, no secrets.
Make sure it doesn't feel like there's anything under there?
No secrets, honey.
Okay. Looks fine on my end.
Maybe you should ask Mum. Hey, she's got a weird eye and can see shit.
Maybe don't phrase it like that to her, but,
That's how I usually phrase it.
Hey Mum, you've got a weird eye. Can you come look at things for me? Like, just
I
like
made
that?
it. It is weird.
You made... Oh, I thought you were talking about Reva. I'm gonna be so honest with you.
It happens. I had two of them.
Yeah, that is fair. Yeah?
No, the mum with the weird eye. Yeah.
Right, okay.
Anyway, sorry. I am in a weird mood.
It's okay. I think, it's an odd situation. You're entitled to be in an odd mood.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go do something. Just walks out the room.
Oh, okay, bye. I guess I'll go dick around on the deck. I don't know what I'm doing.
Are other people awake? What's happening?
Mara, you started moving and you're the birthday bitch, so you go first.
I mean, I wake up and is after the normal amount of hours of sleeping. What's Rodella up to? As we're snuggled.
Rodella probably woke up a little bit before you because that's just Rodella. And I think that she's just been kind of like, she's comfortable and she's just been kind of running her fingers through your hair and didn't want to get up yet. So she's just been sitting there for the last little while.
Stir awake.
Oh,
Morning, Mama.
you flicked me in the eye with your hair.
Oh, sorry.
At least it
Occupational
wasn't
hazard.
the horn this time.
Well, you're welcome for that.
I'm gonna take out my other eye. You sleep all right?
Yeah, pretty good. All things considered. You know, I actually don't really sleep well out at sea, usually, but, you know, getting kidnapped will knock you out pretty quick.
Don't do that again.
I'll do everything in my power to make sure I don't get kidnapped ever again.
Appreciate it.
But if it makes you feel better, he was really bad at it. Like, he was really bad at being a kidnapper. I feel like another 10 minutes and I could have gotten away on my own, so I was fine. But I'm glad you came, and I knew you would.
Yeah. Glad he was bad at kidnapping, and I'm glad that body is on the deck.
Yeah. I have a round of apologies to make today. But
long day ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, we should probably get up and get going then.
Yeah. I'm sorry for pushing against you so hard all these years. I know, and I've always known you were just trying to keep me safe, and I resented you for it a little bit, but I'm still sorry. And I love you, and I don't resent you for it now. I think I'm just getting out of my teenage years. Actually, like, I know I'm 27, but I feel like I'm finally just hitting the end of the, you know...
brain development.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. I think we, wish I could have done it with everyone.
Well. You win some, you lose a lot, right? Yeah. And despite it all, you've raised some truly, I mean, top-tier, remarkable, incredible children. And some just perfect grandchildren, so couldn't have messed up too badly.
Rodella reaches out and just like squishes your face. Just gives you a kiss on the forehead. Get up. And the smoothing.
Before you get up, your bedroom door goes.
Rodella's instantly out of bed and like ready to, and just like.
Tena doesn't even pause in the doorway. They just like head kind of like down. They just like keep walking until their knees hit the bed, and they just keel over and like sink in between the middle of you both, face down in the bed.
Morning.
Good morning. I think Rodella hesitates for a moment. But this is such a rare moment in the last, like, however long she can even think of that Tennant has been this close. and so she just reaches out and runs her fingers through his hair and gets caught in all the knots and then starts unpicking the knots until it's smooth. Oh boy. Did you sleep? Please tell me you slept.
I slept.
Good.
Your weird eye.
Oh, wonderful way to start the morning. Yes?
It can see stuff. Hold on. Your weird eye can see extra stuff.
Yes.
Can you have a look around the ship for extra stuff, please?
What?
I don't know how else to phrase that. My brain is soup.
You're going to have to be at least a little bit more specific, my love.
Okay, the ship is being weird.
The ship's being weird.
Rose says it's not magic. And it's not me, because I'm good with ships.
Is it being weird in that, like, it just doesn't like you that much? Or...
The ship doesn't like anyone.
What? Well, obviously.
Weird how, love?
Just different.
I think Rodella, just sensing that Tennant is just not coherent, kind of sighs, finishes pulling out the last of the knots and runs her fingers through the smooth hair, and then gets out of bed, and starts looking around the ship for weird stuff. I think she's gonna use one of the charges on her eye for see invisibility, which allows her to see invisible creatures and also into the ethereal plane. So anything, yeah.
Yeah, you start walking around. You see Rose on the deck, dicking around.
Decking around.
Hey!
You don't see anything with see invisibility.
Okay.
I don't think you know the ship well enough to notice the things that are weird. I think Rose could point them out to you if you asked. Or the ones that she noticed.
So nothing that's like on a different plane, nothing
in the ethereal plane, no.
Okay, how about I guess Rose already kind of did detect magic, so that's kind of all Rodella's got. So I think as she's like looking around and just kind of, she turns to Rose, who's decking around on the ship, and just says, Tennant? Odd?
Yeah?
Than usual?
Odd. Not wrong, but odd. Definitely, yeah.
Wrong about what? What is happening?
Ah, okay, yeah. So there's a couple things that I don't know what's going on, like Riva hasn't slept, and for some reason Tennant no longer, well, I don't know if he ever really trusted Ruby Senior, but anyway, so that's, I don't know what that's about, but yeah, things on the ship are out of place. Like a floorboard came up and there, hey Rita, I'm just gonna list off some random shit. Is that fine? Okay. And like one of the doors was like slightly to the right below, like in the middle of a plank instead of on the edge of one, and it's just a lot of like weird shit. I looked around for magic and I didn't find any, and Tenant checked behind a painting just in case this is a repeat. Nothing there. The painting looked fine. Yeah, no, like, it doesn't look like any, like, structural damage or anything, but it does seem like, it's almost like, the surrounding material that isn't changed has sort of moved out of the way to accommodate. It's very odd. There isn't, like, you'd think, right, if a board had been pried up that you would see the other boards would have damage, but they just don't.
I think unlike a lot of the responses, I think Redella's instantly just serious. And looks a little unnerved. And I also think that as you were talking, Redella kind of glanced over to where Reva's still sitting there yawning, I'm sure. But looked away very quickly, a little bit sheepishly. And just says, okay, that's not good.
It's not ideal. No.
Vessel is off. Great.
I've just had sort of an odd idea, and it might be fully nothing, but hey, Reed, question for you. With all these weird changes, just because this feels like something in my brain, the side that has the name of the ship inscribed on it, can I just, like, peek a little head over, without falling in, preferably, and make sure that those words are the same? I don't know why they'd be different, but just in case, because you never fucking know, you know what I mean?
Sure, yeah.
Crazy shit.
You can go lean your head over and kind of check to make sure that the emerald rose is still there, which it is.
Mm-hmm. Anything look different on the whole, on the outside?
Make a perception check.
Okay. Ooh, that's a 30.
A 30? Woo!
Yeah, I rolled a 19 on the dot.
Maybe the S in rose is written a different way? Right, like, some people cursive their S's, like...
Yeah.
Without a loop, some people cursive them with. It's a little different.
Because, I mean, and, you know, Jess, correct me if I'm wrong here. I'd imagine it's not inconceivable that I painted Emerald Rose on here. So does it no longer look like my handwriting on the S?
Yeah.
But the color is the same.
Mm-hmm.
I think Rose is sort of like, you know, leaning probably too far over the side of the ship to be necessarily.
You feel Redella's hand grab your shirt.
Gotta look back. Thank you. Pull back a little. I'm assuming the answer is no. It's not like so different that I can recognize it as someone, like, it's not like a unusual S, it's just a different S.
Just a different S.
Okay.
You know, like when you were a kid and you suddenly decided to like write all your A's different? It's like that.
Yeah, just as a kid. I don't do that as an adult. I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway. I painted the name on the ship myself. I don't do my S's like that.
I think Redella, like, looks around at the ship.
Yeah.
And just kind of says, so these are physical differences. This isn't some kind of illusion.
I mean, Ruby Senior tripped on a board this morning, so it's solid enough. When I went through, I was mostly looking for, like, structural changes, like in the planks. It might not hurt to go through and check just everything. Be safe.
Alright. I will, Tenant knows the ship, so if I can get him out of bed.
I can go if you want. Give that a shot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe just walk through the ship and note everything.
Yeah. I'll, do my best.
What the fuck?
Yeah. I'll reach out and I'll just like place a hand on your arm and squeeze it a little, and I'll give you bardic inspiration. Yeah, I don't know. Also, for no reason in particular, I am happy to, if you would like me to, because you're busy, and for no other reason, speak with Reva and try and help there. I'm happy to, but if you don't, then I won't do that.
I think Redella's inner dialogue, just screaming in bat. Redella, you see her eyes like flicker like towards Reba, but not quite looking at her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'd appreciate it.
Yeah. Of course. Gotta stick together, so.
Alright. I'll wake the others.
The both of you in the distance, by the way, can see 4 King's Guards walking in the direction of your boat. Carrying just like a sack.
A sack?
Yeah.
Cool. Elise there, or is it just the King's Guard?
It's just the guard.
Okay. I think I kind of see that, and I kind of look at Rodella and just... Okay. Yep.
Are we supposed to just hand everything over to the guard, or are they expecting...
Oh, I think the sack is for, Yeah, I'd assume. But also, probably...
Why don't you go check on Tennant?
Yeah. I don't imagine she'll appear from the darkness, but she does apparently like to do that, so if his sister shows up, will you let me know?
Yes.
Thanks. Thanks, Mom. Okay. I'll go look for my husband.
Okay. We're gonna stick with Rodella. As these 4 guards walk up with this like Santa-sized sack over their shoulder. They kind of wait for permission to walk on the ship at the gangplank.
Rodella steps aside and kind of gestures, and just kind of like gives an odd look to the sack.
One of the guards who's holding it, like, flips it upside down and then starts lifting it up like it's a magic trick. And you can see a half Shatter Kai, who looks remarkably like Emil, comes out of the sack.
What?
And kind of like dusts herself off and says, "Okay, no, I think
they're rubbing in a hat."
You ever just make an entrance at your brother's funeral?
What? She was in the sack.
Turns over to the guard. "No, I think that'll work perfectly. It was plenty roomy in there. I think it's totally fine."
Oh my god.
I love her.
Sack. Interesting choice.
Do you have any other recommendations of how to carry the dead body of my brother across the whole city?
Just figure a sack is a little sack shaped like a body might be a little bit.
Well, it didn't look like there was a body in there right then, did it?
Right.
Elise. Acheron.
Rodella.
Nice to meet you. So my brother's dead body. Yep.
Right. This way. Rodella just has no idea how to react to this, and I think since Rose had like literally just left, I think Rodella just calls for Rose. Rose, darling,
turn around in the hallway.
You can hear high-heeled shoes kind of clack on the deck as Elise, like with her foot, kicks the tarp so that they could look at their brother's face and just kind of...
I think Rose had like walked up when Elise did that, and then the tarp flipped back, and Rose kind of like looked off to the side a little.
I think Rodella steps in front of you a little bit just to kind of block it.
Wow.
What? Yeah?
Just wow. Just taking it all in.
Yeah.
Not doing a very good job at it.
Enjoying that?
No, not particularly, and covers the body with the tarp again.
Hi, Elise.
Hi,
Good to see you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I should hug you, but you're the very intimidating left hand of the Wretch King, so I'm probably just not going
We can hug. I think that's okay. Just this once, yeah.
Right, special occasion. I'm honored, and I'll
Happy birthday!
Sorry?
It's weird. I'm feeling weird about this. This is a weird situation. Just let me be weird.
No, it's you have every right to be.
I feel like I've been in a manic episode for the past 30 minutes. Oh.
Yeah. Kind of very awkwardly pull back from the hug. Yeah. Right. Do you need anything else from us? Besides the things we borrowed.
Yeah, just in the bag of holding is fine.
Yeah. Look, I'm certain I don't need to tell you this, but I would feel remiss if I didn't. So, I'm sorry for your loss. I'm sorry that Zay got to this point. If you or the king choose to bring him back to life, just be careful. You seem to be working with some very powerful and dark forces, so just be careful. Nearly killed my husband again, so
I'm glad he won't hurt you anymore.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Really stupid. Really dumb.
I think as they're speaking, just so they don't have to keep staring at the tarp, the body, Rodella just kind of moves past them and kind of discreetly.
Yeah, sack open.
Yeah,
ready.
Shoves the body in the sack.
And it just surely looks like there's not a body in there. Probably magic sack a little bit.
I think as Rodella puts the body in the sack, while they're distracted and while they're talking, she just kind of flips it off his face and stares at his face one more time. And then just shoves him in. And then I think at that moment she looks at Rita.
I look back, and what mix of emotions are on your face?
I think a bit of relief. I think a bit of vindication. A little bit of sadness, but not for me. And I think a look that only you would understand as Tennant's mother.
I think in this time, Riva's probably been sitting sort of reluctant to leave the bridge, I guess. And then she gets up and you hear her walk down the hallway. I think she turns to face and just goes, thank you for your support. And we will give us a moment to gather the things that we have borrowed.
Yeah, take your time.
And I think I just give her a nod and head on over to Ruby's.
Get the bow.
Oh, not Ruby Senior. Hi, yeah. Good morning. There's been a lot of that. There's been a lot of people being like, I'm gonna go talk to Ruby, and I'm like, huh? But it wasn't me. Yeah, I think Ruby's been awake for like a really long time. Probably got up before everybody, but has like stayed in her little room. Is like laying in the bed with her cloak not on, but like almost like wrapped around her like a little security blanket. And she's kind of been sitting there scrolling on her phone, looking back at like old pictures from the last decade or so. There are not a lot. Her camera roll is primarily pictures of birds. You know, anybody who has a pet and they just send you pictures of their pet in the exact same position, and they're like, "Oh my god, look at how cute!" And it's like, this is the same fucking picture, but there's hundreds of them. It's that. But there are a couple of pictures that are mostly probably taken on Odette's birthday. And she's just kind of been going back through them methodically. Kind of, there are like feathers on her cloak around the shoulders. They're all little crow feathers, and there's one that's larger and slightly different colored from the rest in the center, and she kind of has just been sitting there stroking them like she would a pet, and kind of just muttering to herself, "What the fuck am I gonna do?" And it's just kind of been sitting there and not ready to face anybody yet. But when Riva knocks, fuck, I'm sitting up, I'm normal, my phone's away. God, I'm so normal. I've been up for hours. You didn't just wake me up, don't worry about it. And kind of is immediately like at attention.
I think I knock, I wait, and then I open the door.
Yeah.
We have to return a few things.
Damn it. And you can kind of see, like, in the corner where her quiver and all of her equipment is, there's the bow, and then there's, like, her bow, and there clearly was an attempt at druid crafting some thorns around it, and, like, maybe I could, like, what if I switched them? But it just clearly did not work at all. But she'll kind of get up and grab the bow and kind of just... This one's really fucking cool, Mom. It's really fucking cool.
I lean in a little bit, and I think you see a twinkle of mischief in Riva's eye. You know, if you really want this bow, I am more than happy to go to war for you.
I appreciate it. I really do, especially because I know exactly how serious you are. But, no, it's fine, I'll get another one.
I promise.
Thanks.
Do you want to return it? Or do you want me to?
God, you probably should, because I don't think I can hand it over to somebody else. Like, you gotta just, and kind of like won't look, and is just holding it out, like, just fucking take it. Just take it. There's just like a little bit of resistance, just like but eventually, let's go.
Okay, I grab it.
We're here, right? I felt the ship stop.
Yep, we're here. Not for long.
Fantastic. Well,
Do you want to go out and stretch your legs?
yeah, why not? Might as well. Before we take off again. We'll kind of just get up, stretch a little bit, because she hasn't really gotten out of bed yet today. And we'll just head out and start wandering around the ship to see where the fuck everybody else is. Because she's heard people wandering this ship, like, investigating shit, and has heard all these footsteps and, like, rummaging and boards being pulled up. And I think now is kind of, like, looking, and it's just like, what the fuck were they doing? Kind of home improvement project was happening here, and is wandering past. And our tenant and Odette still chilling?
Yeah, I think if we jump back like 20 minutes from that point,
Yeah.
As Renata kind of leaves, I think Tenant's pretty much half asleep again, thanks to the detangling, and is kind of like got two arms around you and big spooning you, Nadette. as he's kind of half asleep.
I'm going to kind of like stealthily check that I'm not too stinky, and maybe like kind of wipe some sweat away because I'm a very heavy sleeper, and kind of snuggle back in. Like, so the ship's weird. Yeah, you have such a way with words, Tenant. It's remarkable.
Yep.
Well, that was an invitation for you to say more. I'm asking for you to elaborate. Yeah, please.
Do I have to?
Yeah, I want to help. If I can.
It's just weird, isn't it?
In it. Alright, do you have, like, the original blueprints of the ship? I mean, it's not magical, what? Is it structural? The blueprints!
What blueprints?
For the ship! You're telling me you've built my house and yours, and you don't have blueprints for your own ship?
No, I hate instructions, you know this.
Oh my god!
Off the dome, Nadette.
Oh my god, I need an inspector to come over to my house as soon
as
we get back.
It's fine. It's absolutely fine. Structurally sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then what is weird about it? This boat?
Structurally speaking.
Yeah, not sound. Interesting.
But that wasn't me. It's not me. I'm not. Okay.
I'm gonna just send a quick text to Ruby, be like, respectfully, dear sister, get the fuck in here.
Yeah, she's like halfway up the hall when you can like hear the vibration from right outside the door, and she kind of comes around the corner. What?
Come on, we're having
not a
sibling
big
cuddle,
boat.
and you
don't
can't.
need to check.
And then grabs the duvet, pulls it over their head.
We're having sibling cuddling. Everyone in this bed.
No,
right
don't.
Is this some sort of new form of psychological torture that you've cooked up?
Get in. Come on.
I'm not here.
Ruby comes and sits on like the end corner of the bed and is just kind of like very awkwardly like legs crossed.
So things are structurally unsound with this ship, and
They're not.
Yeah, no shit. Tenant built it.
Shut up! I did.
Wait. Okay, because you're so good, you don't need instructions. How would something like this happen to your ship? Like, what could cause it? Speaking purely from, like, a building perspective, right? Like, I know wood, like, can absorb moisture and, like, swell together and all that stuff.
Are you saying it shrunk in the wash?
Wood does adjust based on moisture content. It's why you always need a special coating on boats, because wood can absorb water. You know this, Tenant.
What do you know?
I do know this. I also know that ships, are made waterproof because they are on the sea a lot.
Right.
Yeah, there's a lot of sea out in the void of space.
It was an example. I'm asking, could something have happened that is very predictable because...
No, it's not. This is not a it's... Oh, my head hurts.
Is this your ship? Are you sure? Did we get on the wrong boat?
I sit and it's like, as she considers the question. I don't know.
No, look, I get it.
Ask your ship a question only it would know how to answer. I don't know. Do they read minds? Ships?
You hear in your head, if you fucking ask me anything this early in the morning, I swear I am never leaving this dock again.
Right?
You're on my ship. You answer my questions.
That's definitely the ship.
But I wouldn't... There's nothing that you would know that I've... Anyway.
What do you mean I'm fucking brilliant?
No, you're not.
No, you're not.
What's my middle name?
What's my middle name?
You don't answer a question with a question.
You don't... Shut up.
Are you speaking out loud
And
to
ship,
your
all
ship?
right.
I think Kevin's that tired, he's just speaking out loud to himself.
Okay.
With like an arm thrown over his face.
Ask the, I don't know, ask like a nautical question.
I don't... What?
Like, how long have we been at sea? How many knots have you traveled, or whatever? I don't know. I don't know anything about boats.
Lieutenant would
I'm
have
just
to know the
here.
answer to those questions to know if it's right.
Well,
You're
yeah.
annoying me. Shut up. The ship's fine. The ship's the same. It's the same. I would know. It's...
Would you?
Yes, I could... It's fucking in my head, isn't it?
Alright, I'm just saying. Maybe it's not. Maybe your ship's was... Maybe it's like, you know that old, like, book? It's like Terrible Tuesday, where, like, the mom and the daughter get, like, body swapped? Maybe that happened to your ship.
Mara, I could watch you trying to come up with, like, space movie.
Ah, yes. That's my favorite movie. Freaky Friday.
The ship is not an imposter. Speaking of fucking imposters, by the way, actually sits up and looks at Ruby for the first time. Do you remember, like, months ago, we were on a mission with, other Ruby?
Davey.
Yeah. And she said something weird about having a parrot that was grey, but then turned red in the moonlight.
Yeah, I remember.
Right? And there was a red parrot talking to my fucking kids a year ago that sparked this whole stupid thing.
I remember.
And then we never investigated that because we had other shit to deal with. But I've never trusted her. What colour are Ruby Davies' eyes?
Because I, the human guy, don't remember what the conversation was.
They're yellow.
What?
Mine? Like, they're
Yeah.
mine. That's where I get them.
Yeah.
Well, last night they were orange.
Huh.
Does she wear contacts?
I don't think so.
Why? Why?
I
Why?
seriously doubt it.
Just checking.
Right.
I can talk. If you have a concern, I can talk to Ruby Davies about it. I was really drunk and had a weird conversation. I feel like I should apologize, and then I don't know. I can sniff around, and also I just need a job to do before I lose it.
Okay, well, you're on Ruby Davies' watch then. As should the rest of us be, to be quite honest, because there's something wrong with... I don't know.
Alright, I'll keep an eye. Thank you both for coming to rescue your absolute dumbass of a sister. I greatly appreciate you. And I'm sorry for all the shit I've said and done leading up to that. And I treasure you both more than pretty much anything else in my life. And will do anything for you. And Ruby, I know you like that bow, and I will go on a one-woman mission to steal it back.
I've already handed it over. I've mourned it. It's fine.
Okay. But
The rest of that, could I get that in writing, please? Actually?
Absolutely
Hold
not.
on, 1 minute. Let me, it just pulls out her holo transmitter and starts. You could just, like, start again?
Fuck you.
Right, that's what I thought.
Everyone needs to get kidnapped at least once.
I haven't been.
Okay,
There's
show
still
off.
time.
Maybe we'll have a, like, surprise birthday for you and kidnap you for it, and then
There
just
will be
have
a body
all
count if you try to
family
do that, Nadette.
come.
I hope that you know
They'll
that.
be
And it's
like,
not going to be on purpose, but it will, in fact, be, like...
Oh,
If you try to
Ruby, we love you
sneak
so
up
much.
and
gonna accidentally kill
kidnap
another one of
me...
your
It's the center of
Oh,
attention.
fuck you! Yeah, there will be a body count. I won't feel bad about it this time.
To be honest.
Good to be back. I'm going to go investigate Ruby Senior and continue my round of humiliating Apologies. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Have fun.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, carry on.
Walk out the door, kind of turn back. Tenant, you know, you and Rose aren't in it alone this time, right? You've got a whole family. So don't feel like you have to shoulder it all.
Been saying for the last week.
Thank you!
If you listen to her and you didn't listen to me, I'm gonna be pissed.
Well, I mean, if you said it first, and I think
throw it over Ruby and like wrap my arms and legs around this struggling duvet.
Kicking, clawing, fucking full wild animal.
Wrestle Ruby to the bed.
Just saying. Alright.
Incredible. Briva comes back with the items and the bag of holding that they came in. You've collected all of them? This is me genuinely asking. Did you put all the items back in the bag of holding? Or did you not? Yes, okay.
I think Tennant still has a couple on them, so...
We will gather all of them.
I will
get all of them.
I think once I've finished suffocating my sister to death...
Rodella comes in and picks the items off of you while you're struggling.
No, I want to go out and actually see what's going on as the captain of the ship. Yeah, I think when they hear what's going on outside, we kind of release Ruby. Are you done being weird?
No, actually, I'm not.
Well. Runs out the room. Runs to the deck of the ship. Right? Oh, kind of looks at Elise.
Hi.
Has the worst bedhead you've ever seen on a man.
I was just on my way out. Cool.
I'll like go over to Rose and like kind of like thread my hand in hers.
Yeah, I think you can see Rose like looked at you when you arrived and like double taked at your hair and then looked back at Elise and has just sort of been like looking at you from the corner of their eye a little bit. Okay. Elise, thank you for everything, and please thank King Asher as well.
Of course.
From all of us. And I think I kind of reach out and just like very hesitantly kind of put my hand over theirs. And I would like to use message, if I can, to just kind of very softly say, also, there's like another world out there in which I married Emil, and you and I were siblings, and I love my life and I love my family, but I think I would be remiss if I didn't just say, I guess, kind of how sorry I am that we're here instead. Not that it's my fault, but...
They soften a little bit around the edges at that. And just kind of give you a nod.
Yeah.
You seem to be a great sister.
Just nod a little.
Sack in guard hand, bag of holding in Elise's hand. We'll kind of give you a salute. And we'll head off.
Can I emerge from the rooms a minute later? Hair also just a little bit, you know how it is when you've been under the covers and it's just a little bit staticky. just a little bit. It does not bother to fix it. Like knows it's fucked and is like whatever. And emerges on the deck and just makes prolonged eye contact with Tennant.
Prolonged eye contact.
Is looking anywhere but you.
Mm-hmm. And is gonna fucking make her way over. I don't know what you're doing, but
I'm emotionally supporting my wife.
That's great.
I'm having a private tender moment, and I don't actually think I want to be interrupted, Ruby.
Well, that's unfortunate. and will kind of just, like, literally, like, I think, like, pinches the back of your arm.
Ow! What?
What is going on with you two?
Nothing.
Come on. Pinches him again.
Ruby! This is not the time.
I'm not gonna stop.
Why? What is wrong with you?
And does it again. I kept this up for a week one time. You remember.
I'm gonna, like, Ashley is, like, turning a little bit purple with, like, rage and kind of, like, looks at Rose, kind of, like, holds her face. Give me just a minute.
Okay, when you're done, your mum asked... Oh.
Grab the back of Ruby's cloak and fucking, like, strong arm her off the deck.
Truly, like, kitten being grabbed by the scruff of its neck.
Yeah, I think the legs are, like, kicking.
Does try to go for your shins and for the kneecap specifically, but not that try. She's not trying that hard.
We wrestle our way off the deck and I kind of shove you into a room and, like, close the door behind me. What the fuck is your problem?
What the fuck is your problem?
I am fucking trying to just hold my life together a little bit outside and I don't have time for whatever bullshit.
You really think it's bullshit?
I don't know what it is. I don't know what's wrong with you. Something about my face is disturbing you, which, you know what, isn't new. So just deal with it.
Is there a mirror in this room? Where are we?
Sure.
Could we be in?
Yeah.
Cool. Slay. We love to see it. Ruby kind of goes and stands in front of this mirror and is looking at Tennant in the reflection. And points to the spot next to her and is like, come here. I'm gonna have this conversation once. And if you still think I'm crazy or fucking with you, I'll shut up about it and never talk about it again. Yeah?
One step, like, crosses over to stand next to you.
Tennant, I've spent the last decade or so watching you and counting all of the ways that you've changed and I haven't. All of them except for one. Look at yourself and look at me.
Yep, you're red, I'm grey.
Tennant, I look older than you.
No, you don't.
Take a look at yourself, Tennant.
No.
You dumb motherfucker. Swear to God.
I think this time...
Oh, no.
What'd you roll? Oh, you rolled really well. Great.
Is it perception?
Yeah.
I rolled a 31.
Yeah. It's like
kind of
looking at the
brushes-
you from the ant farm.
She kind of brushes her hair back, and you can see just, like, the couple of strands of gray that are creeping in at her temples. And I'm gonna be honest. These days, Nadette looks older than you. I think I didn't notice for a while because everything changed and then it didn't stop changing. And it was kind of comforting to look at you and to see that same face looking back, but I'm not making it up.
I think where a minute ago he was purple with, like, frustration, and 10 seconds ago he was slate grey. He's now almost white with just
fear and hasn't taken his eyes off of the reflection. And then after another beat, turns away. Are we done? Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks. And then just like it's embarrassing how much he fumbles with the doorknob because his hands are shaking.
Puts kind of one hand on yours. I don't know what it means. I don't.
Not right now. I'm not doing this right now.
Alright, but we gotta do it sometime.
He finally gets a grip on the doorknob and kind of throws himself out of the room.
I think Ruby just kind of takes another minute and glances back at herself in the reflection again. But she can't look for very long. And then we'll head back into her room and probably throw herself on the bed and scream into the pillow a little bit.
With the deadline very close approaching and the need to take off, settling in, anything else anybody wants to do before the ship gets moving?
I just want it to be known that when Nadette comes up on deck, her hair looks perfect.
Oh, thank you. It's really was important that we did
Thank
that. So
God
thank
you said
Maura.
that. I was concerned.
Me too. I was worried.
No bad hair days for Nadette.
No,
Absolutely
it's not in her DNA.
No.
Can we say that we did those secondary swipes of the ship beforehand, just to make sure that there isn't like a big hole?
Oh yeah.
Cool.
No big hole in the bottom.
The ship's not sinking.
Yeah, I promise.
Nice.
I feel like we should know that before we go.
Okay. The ship begins to move again, and as our party heads off toward Merc Hollow, that is going to be where we end our episode for today. Thank you all so much for joining us. I can't wait to finally get to Merc Hollow, not next weekend, but the weekend after. However, you can join us this Wednesday and the Wednesday after for Divinians episode 2 and the premiere of Tales from the Archives Reverie. It's going to be so slay. You're going to want to be there. So we'll see you later. Everybody say bye.
Bye.